everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to make a wreath. Let's see. Hopefully you can see it. Which way does it go? This way. Anyway, to make an evergreen wreath. So the things that you're going to need is a wreath form, and you can use, oh, I have some tiny ones here. Here's a little one. This is actually called a pine cone wreath form because it's concave shape, which is, it's just very tiny. But this is what I use to make this wreath. And I think today I'll show you on one like this. Just a regular wreath. And if I put my glasses on, I can tell you exactly what it was called in case you were wanting one. Should be just called a wire wreath form. Glasses. What's it say? Yep, just a wire wreath form. I usually make bigger ones, but when I went to the store to get more, they didn't have any. So this size is about a 16. And I could only get 18. Maybe, yeah. I would say the ones I get are 16s. These are all 18s. This is a different kind, which is just as good to make the same type of wreath form, or same type of wreath. So there's that kind. You can do, and you do it exactly the same way. All of them are the same. And then there's this one, which is good because you can make your boughs a little wider and there's more grip for your wire. And this one is an 18. I prefer 16, but these are all, anyway, they're all 18s, I guess. I'm wrong. Shocker. Anyway, this is a 10, and this is a 10. Is it? No, this is a 12, and this is a 10. Anyway, I like using this one, but I can't find any more, and I've already made the two that I had. And I did film it once already, but the film went all funny on me, so I'm going to try and do this again, and we'll see what we end up with. So I'm just going to show you how to make a wreath. Now you need pliers, some wire. This is 24 gauge wire, and it's very handy for it to be on this, so you can pull it while you're making it. That's important. So we have some wire, and you need some branches. So I have some here. So spruce, I like to use spruce, and I usually just cut the tip off the end of the tree. Usually there's 3, and that's how big I cut them. Let's see, what else do I have here? So yeah, it's okay if they look like that. So 1, 2, and then usually one more, 3. So I use spruce, and I use pine, and I use whatever this is called, a shrub that grows on my lawn. And I also have cedar, but I've never put it in my wreaths before. So I think that all looks nice together. So I use 3 different things to make my wreaths. And I usually pick a planter full. I don't know if you can't see. Big planter, and I pick it full and I pack it down and it usually does 2 wreaths, but we'll see. So it's a fun project to do with your family and get everybody to help pick some branches, and you can do this in no time. I am obviously not a florist, so this is just something that I make for people and I give it to them. They give me the wreath forms back, so I guess they like them and want another one, because they always say that they like them. Because usually when you buy them, they're just all spruce. So I quite like them. Mine are not perfect, but anyway, I'm going to go hang this up, and hopefully we'll get a wreath made. So the first thing we're going to do is attach the wire to the wreath form. So I like to wear gloves because I'm allergic to one of the things. It's kind of prickly. Anyway, you can attach your wire just about anywhere. Just wrap it around a few times because we're going to tug it, and it's going to be a noisy job. But we're just going to attach the wire around a section of your wreath. Doesn't really matter where. And we got a spider that wants to be involved. My mother always used to make wreaths, and this is a nice thing to do, especially where many people are stuck in COVID and in lockdown and whatever. We're not actually in lockdown, but we're have to be careful. So the first thing, and this is what I like about this style of wreath, which you can make it this way or you don't have to, is you start on the back. And this is what I like about these, is you can hang them in a window and it's right sides on both sides. So if your door has a window, or you're going to hang it like in a business or someplace where there's a glass door, this looks nice. So you take, how many do I have here? 3 or 4 branches, lay them on the back, and whichever way they're pointing, you have to continue that way. So, and that's probably the most important thing about making wreaths, is always have your branches going the same way, both sides. So this wreath form is actually easier to use, I find. So wrap it around a couple times. I'm going to put you outside. All right. Spider has been saved, I think. I don't have him crawling on me. All right. These ones have brown in it. So we're going to take some more spruce. So we did the back. And the way I can tell on this wreath form back to the front is it does have a little bit of concave to it. So the shaped side is up. That's how I know the difference. And it's nice to do something outside. So I need that to be on this side. So we're just going to grab some more spruce. Oh, my cat is joining us. Remy, what are you doing? So we need some pine. I cut these a little bit too long, but that's going to work. So I got a piece of pine on there. Whoops, knocked the camera. What is your problem? And we have a piece of this. And everybody tells me they love the pine, so I'll just cut that off there. Now I'm doing this in my greenhouse because this is very messy. Remy, you're not helping. All right. That was Remy, by the way, my cat. Oh, dear. She's going to knock something over here in a minute. So you want to wrap it quite tightly and do it a couple times. I think the magic number is 3 for everything. And I'm not worried about having brown in there. I probably should be, but I'm not. So now we need some more of these. Ruby! She's going to be climbing the ceiling here in a minute. What is with you today? The grouse is out there. Why don't you go chase it? She likes chasing things. So now we're going to put another layer of spruce on. And you just want to keep your volume the same. And you can kind of tell by looking at it. This one's going to be nice. So now so do the same thing every time. Layer spruce, some pine, whatever this stuff is called. Just cut a piece off there. And maybe some more pine. That's the cat jumping around. She's in and she's out. I should shut the door. But then she'll run in again. So we're going to wrap again. And we're making sure everything is pointing the same direction. Now we get a look at the back. So we need some more on the back. I just think they look nicer with it done both sides. And I always have my wire going the wrong way. All right. And now I'm going to do the front again. As long as it's wrapped 3 times somewhere, and just every time you pick up your wire, give it a little tug. So we need more spruce. And big piece of pine. And some more of this stuff. I don't know if these will get caught in there or not. Careful where I put them. There we go. So we're going to wrap them again. And give it a little tug. And we need to put some more on the back. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. If not, this whole process is rather pointless, isn't it? So, all right, put this in the back. And as you can see, let's start right there. So, there. Some of these are too long. But I can still use the whole thing. I'm just gonna cut these. Oh. Don't leave that dead leaf on there. But yes, this is very messy, so you wouldn't really want to do this in the house because it smells wonderful because you have the pine and the spruce. I don't believe this really has a smell, but I like the look of it. And we'll just stick that one. Maybe not. Lots of pine. Everybody likes the pine. So, wrap it again. And you see, we're almost halfway done. One more bundle and we'll have wrap it. And we'll put some more on the back. I lost my compost bucket. It's in there. All right, some more for the back. Make sure they're all going the same way. Must be something wrong with this tree. It has dead needles on it, but I'm using them anyway. It says nature intended. All right. So, good enough on there. And a couple of wraps. Because it's going to get caught in the next one from the front. So you just flip it over and you keep doing it all till you go all the way around. So hopefully you were able to see that. I'm going to stop the video. When I get almost to the end, I'll show you what to do next. So as you can see, we are almost at the end. We just have this little space in here to fill in, which is probably the trickiest part about making the wreaths. Some of my branches are too long. I'm just going to cut some here. And I probably have 2 different types of pine and 2 different types of spruce, and so you just want to lay down the same amount, and that's all right to use different kinds. I'm gonna get some chopped here. So I'll be ready for action. And I do, so this is the back of the wreath that you're seeing right now. You see how that's nice and flat? And it all goes the same way. Perhaps you can't. I'm really bad at, there we go. So that, we just have that little section right here to fill in. So, there, you can see better now. I'm just gonna clip some ends off here. I was a little overzealous in my cutting, but it doesn't hurt the tree. It's actually good for the tree. So this is the section we have left to fill in. So this is the back. Well, a couple wraps, because it will get wrapped again. Probably be more than 3 times in the end. And this is the front so far. And we just have this gap right here to fill in, right here. So that's pretty good. I think it looks nice with the different textures of everything. So I'll set you back down without trying to jiggle you around too much. So we get the back done, so now do the front again. And we're getting to the end. So you just keep doing the same thing you were doing before. It's a nice one. Put in the front. Nice green, and we still need some pine. And if it's bowed out like that, just lay it on there the way it wants to go. To stay. Here's another one. I'm just going to lay it on there the way it wants to go. And we need some more of this stuff I'm allergic to. This makes it's prickly. And I break out into a rash if it touches my skin. From doing this, you would. So that's why I wear gloves. You don't really have to. You will get sappy. Get all sappy. Make it wreath. Anyway. So yes, it's a nice thing to do outside if it's not too cold where you're at. If you have, see, these trees just grow in my yard. I live in the woods. Make sure that's on there good. And hopefully just one more pass on the back. And you don't want to get all your stuff caught from your first one like I just did. Goodness, what do we got happening here now? That one probably was the one I just put in there. Anyway, I've just made a mess. So, but it can be fixed. So one more. This is just stuff from the front. So one more, and you just gotta tuck it in underneath your first one. So let's get some branches. See, some of mine are too long. You just want, I say 3, so I'm counting the first one. 1, 2, 3. And what else we got in here? It was much warmer out here the other day when I was filmed this the first time. Alright, that should be enough. So I have, where are you? There. So we're going to tuck this in here and see if it's enough. So now I still need a couple for in there, just to make it look seamless. So I'm going to cut a couple more. Now usually these branches were cut just a couple of days ago. There. Let's see if we can. So now I just have to wrap here and here. And hopefully slide it off the end of the table a little bit. And we don't do anything too crazy to the front. So this is the tricky part. But the one good thing about making these wreaths, you only have to go around them once. I've seen other people make them and they go around a couple times. I like to do things once. So that doesn't look too bad. So this, we just need to put some in there to make it look seamless, which is the hard part. So we're going to have these in there. There's some other ones. I just need little ones for this part. Let's get a big paw on it. You just want your volume to stay the same. And oh, I think this turned out really nice. I am pleased with the look of this. Alright, stick in a couple more. Some of these are pretty. I knew these had brown on them, but now they look worse. Anyway. Alright, that might have been enough anyway. So what we're going to do is where we started, try and shove them in underneath your first one. Alright. Always pull your wire tight, because you don't want any loose bits or it will fall out eventually, because these will dry. Keep them inside, and if you kept them inside, they would fall apart. Pine. We need some pine. Alright. There's one, kind of long. There's a piece. This piece will be a good one. Alright, I'm going to put my glasses back on. So we want pine first. Do it always in the same order that we start. And these would look good with cedar. Maybe I already said that. And where are we at? So we're not on the inside. Ooh. Yes, I like to wear a tight-fitting glove so that doesn't happen. So this is where you just got to be picky where your wire goes. I think that's a good spot. To make sure you're grabbing everything. Oh, I think this is gonna be a nice one. Yes, yes, yes. This is gonna look nice. So hopefully you can see that. Now I'm gonna flip it over on the back. And I'm going to pull it tight. And that's where you need your pliers, buried underneath some brush. Alright, and we're going to cut a piece of wire long enough. Maybe. There we go. I don't need the glove anymore. So this, I find, is the trickiest part, because you're going to find your wreath form so you can tie it off. Now where are we? This is why it's nice to have green ones. Usually I can feel it. And there's one right there. Perfect. So I'm going to put a little hook on the end of my wire so I can too much green, it's hard to see. There we go. So I find it safer, obviously, to end it on the wire part instead of using a branch that you have wired in, because the branch will dry out, and then obviously you have to make sure you pull it tight. Now obviously I'm just finding a piece of my wire form and wrapping the wire around it. If I can find it. And that is the hardest part about making a wreath. So I will just do that a few times and then cut the wire off. Now some people don't use the over the door hangers. I find these will fit right on a hanger to hang up, which I'll show you in a minute. But you would do the same thing. Sometimes you have to make a hanger out of wire. But I like my wreaths to hang for a couple days because sometimes you have to trim them a little bit, because your branches go where they like, and if you don't like them sticking out that much, then you have to cut them. So I usually, just to make sure it holds all my hard work in place and the wire doesn't loosen, I do 4 or 5 times. And if you cut your wire long enough, you could make a hanger for it. I usually start in one place, and so it's obvious. But many times I've made hangers, given the wreath to people, because I just make these for gifts, and they end up making their own because they didn't see it, because I use the green wire and they don't even notice it. So, or you could give them a hanger, but sometimes people have different types of doors and they can't use them. So I'm just gonna make sure this is tied off so it doesn't unravel. I usually secure it in a couple places and then just cut it off this way. So the wreath is now finished. So that's the back. Bring it up a little bit. So this is the back, which would be hanging against a window with the right side, so you don't see the bad part of the wreath. Now obviously I could stick a branch in there and cover that part up. Anyway, I don't think it looks too bad for a non-professional. And then this is the top, and I think it turned out quite nicely. Yes, that looks good. So that is on a flatter wreath form, and I will hang it on the door and show it to you there. Alright, I hope you enjoyed making a wreath with me today. I had fun making it, and make yourself a wreath. Talk to you soon. Bye.